Hello colleagues, I'm bringing another training video your way. So today we are going to talk about conducting informal observations. So in many ways, in almost every way, this is exactly the same process as doing a formal observation, but with far fewer steps. So we're going to do a informal observation of Jeff Chong. For the purposes of this video, I have become his administrator. So under the search employees, I'm going to find Jeff. I'm going to select him. I'm on his dashboard. So now I'm going to go to reviews, and I'm going to hit the create review button. So again, we have all of these different options here. So we are looking for either educator service informal observation or educator teaching informal observation, depending on who you're observing. So we'll go ahead and click the teaching informal observation and then hit create review. So we got Jeff Chong here. We'll hit next. Okay, so we have a list of the same feedback domain forms that are coming up. So 1A through 1C, 3A through 3C, and then finally the informal educator feedback form. So just like with the formal process, we're going to pare this list down to only what we need. So at a minimum, you need one of these 6 feedback domain forms, but you can have as many of them as you want. We're just trying to get you to really hone in on, 1 or 2 single point competencies. But if you're looking for several different things with a particular observation, you can have as many of these as you need. But for the purposes of this, we're just going to stick with the feedback 1A positive learning environment form. So we'll go ahead and get rid of the rest of these by clicking this X in the top right corner. Okay, so now we're left with 2 forms. So we have feedback domain 1A, and we have the informal educator feedback form. So the domain forms are going to be authored by you and signed off on by you, and you'll use the information from that form to then fill out the informal educator feedback form, which is authored by you, signed off on by you, but then also signed off on by the employee so that they get the feedback from what you saw during your observation. So I'm going to go ahead and start this review. Great, so it is started. We'll go here to the Go Rams in the top right corner. That always brings you back to your dashboard. We'll go to reviews, and we'll see these are the 2 forms that we just selected as part of this informal review of Jeff. So we need to fill out both of these forms. So it starts with the observation itself, feedback domain 1A. We'll open this form up. As before, we'll select the cohort at the top. All of this information is for you. This is the indicator 1A that we selected, and these are the single point competencies that fall under indicator 1A. So we'll select which one of these we're going to observe. We'll just go ahead and say environment supportive of risk taking. We'll type in our information that we observed here. Now again, let's say that while we were in the classroom, we also saw something that we wanted to comment on related to high expectations for student learning. So if we want to, this is optional, we can select another one under 1A and go ahead and put the information in here. All right, and then we hit the green submit button. All right, so we've signed off on that. That form is done. Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. We filled it out, we submitted it, now we have to sign off on it. So we'll go ahead and hit sign off now. Now it's done. So we'll go back to our dashboard. We can double check to make sure that it's done because it should go under the forms I did. We can see now it's completed. If we hadn't signed off, it would still be under the forms I need to do. So we filled out the actual observation form under domain 1A. So now we need to provide the employee who we observed with feedback. So we go ahead and open up this form. And we will go ahead and select the single point competency that we observed. So again, it was the teaching 1A. We'll put in the information that we need. Test. So let's say we're going to fill out this form and we don't remember everything that we had written down on the domain feedback, or we didn't print out a copy. So we need to be kind of looking at that form while we fill this out. So over here under Options, we save and launch Performance Dual View. Great. So now over here on the left, we have the form that we're filling out. On the right, we have the other forms related to this observation. So we can go ahead and launch. We can view Feedback Domain 1A. I hit View, and now we can reference everything that we had already written down on that form and just copy and paste it over here onto this form. So I'll go ahead and fill in the rest of this information, and now we hit Submit. And now we can go ahead and sign off on this. So once we want to leave the dual view, we can go up here to this button to the right, Save Left Panel, and go back to the single view. We don't need the panel on the right anymore. We go to our dashboard, under Reviews. We can see we don't have a form we need to do anymore. We finished this form, so now we just need to wait for our employee, Jeff, our educator, to sign off on the form that he's seen the feedback. Okay, so Jeff has completed the form. You can see over here that it is completed. You can go to My Team. You see, okay, this process has been finished with Jeff. If you want to review any part of this process, you can go to Open Review and see the two forms that were part of this informal. Both are completed. You can view any of them individually. But that's it. That is completing the informal review process.